Hey everyone. Today is day 21. Holy shit, what a past couple of days. It's been ridiculous. I feel like I've crested the peak. I went through a pretty intense emotional period where I was dealing with some core wounding issues, and apparently I just wanted to get it all out at once. So mother and father both. Father wounds dictate things like guilt, aggression, rage. Mother wounds address things like shame, suicide, regression, things like that. One is an energetic movement out, the other is an energetic movement in. I went pretty deep introspection, very isolated. That's why I didn't upload a video yesterday. I did the video. It's a little too raw even for my taste to put out. And I got that a big part of this, like, that's about me. You know, this is about my self-expression. This is about my commitment to my word. And in honoring my word, you know, to be clear, I'm challenging myself and uploading these videos onto YouTube, but some of them, you know, like yesterday's, it's just not, it's a little too private for that. And so, but it was good. It was good for me to get it out. It was good for me to talk. It was good for me because, you know, for like the past 3 days, I really haven't had any human interaction. I've kind of been pent up in my own apartment. Just, man, sleeping a lot, riding a lot, watching movies, going out to dinner with myself. You know, it's just been a lot of taking care of myself, some much needed alone time, some autonomy for self-care. The alcohol, tobacco, coffee thing is still going. I'm 100%. Man, you know, and that's the thing, is like a lot of these wounds, a lot of this emotional stuff, you know, I've been suppressing with alcohol and tobacco. And I'm really grateful that Megan's out of town right now, just because it's given me the space to deal with it responsibly. Some of it has carried over into some of my relationships, and I'm working that out. You know, it's been tough. Apparently we're in some sort of celestial trial period right now. You know, everyone that I know has either been hit really hard or they're doing awesome. It's pretty interesting, the contrast. You know, something that I wanted to talk about a little bit though is denial has an expiration date. A lot of times we can't really get into our experience. You know, it's like if we don't know what's occurring for us, you know, there's usually some sort of underlying unconscious or subconscious triggering that's happening. Some sort of wound is getting triggered. Mine specifically was bringing up a lot of memories of childhood where I wasn't getting what I needed. Like I didn't have the emotional attention, you know. It was like, and it's not my parents' fault, you know. It's like they were just, you know, they're just living out their wounding. But the thing is it's like, you know, so I don't blame my parents. It's just one of those things that, you know, it's the transgressional transgenerational trauma that is being passed along that I'm looking to put an end to in myself. A couple of things. I want to be clear. This is an experiment for me. And I want to talk about like why it's important to be respectful of this process, and something that I've been getting for myself, like with others, is it's like, it's not my job to disrupt, people's lives. It's not my job to tell people how to live their life or anything like that. It's my job to live my life. And it's a noble desire to want to help people. But in a lot of ways, I think that fundamentally it's saying that people need help. And, there's a space that's more powerful than that, which is that nobody's broken and everyone has the capacity and power to create. There's a little bit of even that, it's like that conclusion, really kind of locks that into place as if that's true. I don't know if that's true. That's just the thoughts that I have on the matter. Working with what I have, I think it's best that if I just leave that open and just say that it's more important for me to focus on myself and live that first. And it's kind of like the tree doesn't grow to provide shade. The tree grows to be a tree. It's just trying to be the most tree it can be, and if it provides shade for others, that's a benefit, but that's not the intention behind the tree growing. And it's the same for me, is it's like, if I can provide something for others in my process, that's great. But really what there is for me to do is just grow myself. Stop worrying about other people. Other people are, I'll just say that. That's plenty. And so I really don't know. There's a lot that, I feel like I have a lot of skills to offer in some areas. But, I just went through a pretty intense trial period where, none of that's available. And, that's like part of it, is it's like, we forget. I forgot, like I couldn't access who I am outside of my wounding. And that's no joke, that's like a really tough place to be. And it's a really tough place to, there's a responsibility to that, there's a karmic implication for that. Meaning that, like, for example, if I'm talking with someone about where they're at and they're going into a space of something that is triggering for them, and if I don't, and if I'm not careful with that, that can really have an intense blowback, for transference and projection and all of these things. And then I become the, mother or father that, impacted the psyche with trauma. And it's not a fun place to be, so I really got a lot of respect for going through that process. And, there's, I got some more humility. I see that in some ways I've been pretty immature lately, like my immature masculine has kind of been running the show. False personalities have been running the show, And I know they're false in the sense that, you know, it's these unconscious aspects of my psyche that are looking for completion. And, you know, there's no justification for, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to leave that one alone. I am just trying to work out for myself a lot of these things and just express it and just share it. My intention can't be, it really can't be to provide something for other people. You know, maybe it's because the reason why is because I place my intention outside of myself on what I think that other people need, instead of it just coming from me directly. It has to come from me directly. That is first and foremost. And you know, we can only put things on other people for so long. I guess we could die that way. You know, like we could die blaming other people. But that sounds really terrible, and it's just not something that I want, you know. Like, there's no power in it being the other person's fault. How can anyone make me experience anything? You know, it's like the final scene from V for Vendetta, when Evie realizes, like, she goes through all the torture and she realizes that there's an aspect of herself that no one can ever get to, that no one can ever take away, you know. And then it's like all of her suffering ceases, because they realize they can't break her at that point. And then she comes out, you know, she's set free, and she realizes that it was V that was doing it the whole time. He was torturing her. He was the one that was bringing her through those places. And one of my teachers says that that's like an old shamanic psychodrama, like a process. And then she becomes angry at him, and he said, "That's it. You know, get angry, feel that. You know, don't give up on this moment." And he said, what was true 5 minutes ago is no less true now. And it was that once she was free of her own suffering, no one could make, you know, she was liberated. She was willing to die for she just let go of her fear of death. And then they could, you know, nothing they did had an impact any longer, you know. And it wasn't from a broken place, you know, they didn't break her spirit. They actually helped her discover it, you know. And I feel like in a lot of ways, like, that's kind of been what my process has been these last couple of days. It's just getting to that place of like, I'm responsible. So, I think I'm good with that. That's going to be the end of this one. I hope you all are being gentle and easy on yourself if you're going through difficult times. And may we all be at peace. Peace.